Sup everyone, this is Draco Evolve back yet again with some latest Manchester United transfer news today and news in general. And before I get started, the most important thing is, guys, ladies and gents, stay safe and isolate yourself. But let's jump straight in. Big stuff is coming out over the recent few days. This is the article. Apparently, Manchester United's chief executive, Ed Woodward, is desperate to sign Jadon Sancho from Borussia Dortmund. So I'm going to read you out the article, then we have a bit of a discussion. Manchester United have been speaking to Borussia Dortmund since the January transfer window shut in a bid to get a deal for £120 million rated Jadon Sancho over the line. The Red Devils are in the front of the queue, and Italian journalist Fabrizio Romano says Ed Woodward and co are confident of wrapping up deal. But they have encountered a huge problem in that negotiations are stalling because of the worldwide pandemic. So Fabrizio Romano, he is not the most trusted, but he's better than a lot of the journalists outside. And given the circumstances we are in currently, you can see Manchester United have time to negotiate deals. Yes, physically you can't really meet up with players or agents, but with the technology that everybody has nowadays, I'm sure negotiations can still take place. Manchester United have been in contact with Jadon Sancho's agent for 2 months and are working on his contract, Romano said during an Instagram live video. The pandemic, I don't want to say the word because otherwise I'll get demonetized. The pandemic is making it hard to communicate with Borussia Dortmund. United are confident. So there you have it. That's straight from the mouth of Fabrizio Romano, that apparently we have been trying to negotiate with Jadon Sancho's and his club Borussia Dortmund for a potential £120 million deal. And what do I think of it? I've said it so many times. I've said it before that Jadon Sancho will be an amazing signing for Manchester United. Look, he fits the profile. He's young, he's British, and he's a right winger, someone that we crave on the right side. Because, you know, I'm not going to repeat myself over and over again, but Dan James is not a starter. Certainly, it wasn't fair on him to be starting that many games this season so far. And he even came out and admitted it a few months ago that he's surprised that he's starting that many games, even though he wasn't complaining. But you can see a lot of Dan James in his performance. There was a lot of burnout. In terms of Jadon Sancho, what he will bring, definitely goals and assists, mainly assists. You can see the runs he makes from the right wing. He can play equally on the left as well. And if you got someone like Bruno Fernandes and Paul Pogba behind them pulling the strings, who are great passers of the ball, 9 times out of 10 they will pick those runs with a through ball, and it can be devastating. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. It does look to be going places, you can say, with as the days and weeks go by. The potential transfer of Jadon Sancho is going up. Speaking about Paul Pogba, Manchester, we are apparently optimistic of keeping Paul Pogba. All right, so this is according to the ESPN. Manchester United are optimistic Paul Pogba will remain at the club beyond the next transfer window and doubt whether any of Europe's elite clubs can afford the midfielder. Pogba's agent Raiola has said he wants to take a great player to Real Madrid, sparking more speculation. The Spanish giants are set to bid for the France international. Juventus are also interested in re-signing Pogba, but there are significant doubts over whether either club could finance a deal, even if the 27-year-old insists he wants to leave Old Trafford. Pogba has a contract until June 2021, but United can also trigger a clause to extend it for another 12 months until 2022. Real Madrid were put off by the £180 million asking price, but last summer, and while privately United accept Pogba's value will dip with time running out on his contract, they still value the record signing of more than £100 million, and rightly so. Pogba and his agent especially, is a bit of a loudmouth. I'm not going to talk about too much for him because it's not important at all, but Pogba is contracted to Manchester United. If he really wanted to stay, he will come out and squash the rumours himself. But the problem with him right now, and I speak for many of you guys out there, he's not coming out and saying that himself, that he wants to stay, he wants to remain. It's just rumours here and there. Obviously, Pogba has a year left to run on his contract with an option to extend, so he can potentially be here for another 2 years. And also the fact that we value him quite a lot in terms of his price. I think Madrid have Valverde, who's coming through the ranks, and recently they have cooled their interest in Paul Pogba. But comments from Mino Raiola saying that he wants to take a great player to Real Madrid does not help. Again, Pogba is apparently negotiating a new contract. I don't know what sort of contract he wants, even though he hasn't played anything this season. So it'll be interesting to see how he performs when he comes back into the squad, not in the lineup, because I think it'll be unfair to drop Paul Pogba straight into the lineup, given the form that McTominay, Fred, and even Matic has been. He can't take Bruno Fernandes' spot anyway, because Pogba's not that player. Even though he can play there, he can do a job in attacking midfield, but I think he's more of a number 6 in the central midfield position, the position where Fred normally occupies. But Pogba should not be allowed to come in straight into the starting 11. Yes, in the squad, then ease him in and make sure that he proves himself before he's considered for the starting 11. Look, all of us at United, and even across many other clubs, we look at our lineup, and if they see Pogba and Bruno Fernandes in the same lineup as a potential Jadon Sancho, it's scary stuff. And given the current run of form that we are in, the way that we are playing now, we seem to have plugged that missing puzzle, you can say, with not especially with the signing of Bruno Fernandes. I think everything's starting to click. But we will see when Pogba returns how he clicks with the rest of the squad, especially Bruno Fernandes. Will I miss Paul Pogba? No. Because let's face it, he comes with a package. He's such a great player, but he comes with a package. A package being Mino Raiola and his brothers, who just mouthing off Twitter and Instagram, whatever crap social media that these players are on these days, earning a bit of extra money with less trophies when they retire, is facts. But he hasn't played the whole season, and to be frank, we have missed him probably in the beginning of the season, but right now we're not missing him. We are simply not missing him. I would like for him to turn around and play for United, because I want to see how he does in the team currently, and especially if we do add the likes of Jadon Sancho on top of Marcus Rashford returning, Anthony Martial, Bruno Fernandes. You're looking at a squad of starting 11 that people will look at and think, you know what, we're going to be in for a tough match. And I want United to be back in that position where teams were already mentally defeated before they step onto the pitch. You look at the great teams of United had in the past. They were opposition team were already defeated before they walked onto the pitch. But I'd like to see that back, and that's it. Chris Smalling, apparently he is looking for a permanent transfer to Manchester United if obviously we've signed Koulibaly. Obviously I've covered that in my last video, so do go and check it out. Smalling is currently with Roma on loan, and clubs have been in talks about a permanent deal for a number of months. The English defender has taken life to Italy and is believed he would like to remain in Italy capital beyond this season. A deal, however, seems unlikely as the Premier League side consistently raised the valuation of Smalling, and much depends on Roma qualifying for the Champions League next season. However, according to La Gazzetta dello Sport, the Premier League outfit could change their stance if they were to sign Koulibaly. I said in my last video, Koulibaly will be amazing signing. Problem is, if we're going to spend that much on Koulibaly, potentially he's valued at that much. You know, replacing the fact that if we're going to spend £80 million on Koulibaly and we have £150 million spending money, I wouldn't spend it on Koulibaly. I think there are other areas that need to be covered. But I'm not going to delve too much into that. I did talk about a lot of that in my last video, so do go and check that out. Chris Smalling is one of our better defenders, but I don't think his time at United is going to be long-lived, because I do believe that Roma will eventually end up signing him. You can see that Solskjaer is starting to push out deadwoods slowly. We've had a few deadwoods pushed out already. We still got Phil Jones in defense that needs to be pushed out. We still got a few other players, Andres Pereira, Jesse Lingard. You know, interestingly, with Jesse Lingard, he hasn't featured in the squad in the last couple of games in the Premier League, which shows where he's at in terms of the pecking order. And Smalling, as much of a good defender he is, I think we need a different personnel. I think we need a powerful, pacey defender, and someone like Koulibaly will be great. But for me, we should only sign Koulibaly as an extra on top of signing the likes of Jadon Sancho. But let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Would you take Chris Smalling back at the club? If you do make him go back in the club, would you keep Lindelof in the starting lineup? Because I don't think Maguire will get dropped. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Bit of a story from Mundo Deportivo about Erling Haaland. So this is quite interesting coming out. Haaland is Real Madrid's favourite to reinforce the lead next season. However, the White Club will not have it easy since it is the only club interested in taking over the service of Norwegian soccer. This was in Spanish. I used Google Translate, so I'm just going to quickly run through that. Manchester have been long behind it even before he's moved to Dortmund. We did try to sign him as well, but English press with that Ed Woodward wants to bury the hatchet with Raiola and get Haaland in the squad. What a great signing. The article, let me just put this article straight. The article goes on to say that Madrid are interested in Haaland, but Ed Woodward wants to patch things up with Raiola and get Haaland into Manchester United. For me, Haaland would be a great signing. You can see what sort of impact he has already had in Dortmund. Him coming in will further reinforce our front line, because once we have the likes of Martial and Rashford going injured, we don't have any backup. We had to sign Igalo, who came in and did well, but he's more of a squad player. Haaland will go straight into the starting lineup, and the likes of Jadon Sancho, Haaland, Martial, Rashford up front, with the rotations going on. You got Daniel James in the mix as well. It'll be great to see a bit of rotation. You're looking at playing 60-70 games potentially per season. Not every one of these players will be playing that much, so it'll be nice to see a lot of rotation, a lot of fresh legs in each match. Also, Haaland does bring a different side to our game. He's powerful, he's good in the air, he's got a wicked left foot. We do not have that personnel in our lineup. Martial is not powerful, he's pacey, he's got a deft touch, passing. Rashford is pacey, direct. Same with potential Dan James and Jadon Sancho, pacey, direct, got a good cross, but they're not powerful, they're not good in the air, they're not great in the air. So someone like Haaland coming in will give us a bit of an option to play that sort of formation, given the fact that we do play 4-2-3-1, but recently have been turning to 5-3-2 in a lot of our recent matches. But this is it, guys. That's the complete update of today's transfer latest speculation. As always, guys, these are only speculations, so do not take them that seriously. If there were confirmations, I'll bring them to you. If you like what you see, make sure you smash the like button. If you're feeling very generous, and if you're self-isolating at home and want another avenue, in another thought, another view in terms of Manchester United, do consider subscribing. I bring all the latest news, transfer news, speculation, match reviews, previews, stats, and etc. So yeah, and I'll catch you guys in the next upload. Stay far,